WebDAV stands for Web Distributed Authoring and Versioning. WebDAV is a set of extensions to HTTP that allow computer users to edit and manage files collaboratively on remote servers. The goal of WebDAV is to define a protocol that makes the web a readable and writable medium. It provides a framework for users to create, change, and move documents on a web server. WebDAV is enabled by client programs. So for example, Microsoft Office fully supports WebDAV extensions. This enables me to open a Word document on a remote server via things like Internet Explorer. For .NET applications, the support of the WebDAV extensions is enabled by changing the authentication mode within the web.config. Kentico CMS fully supports WebDAV extensions for the ability to edit, modify, browse, or even delete files using Internet Explorer, Windows Explorer, and IIS. Within Kentico CMS, especially in your development environment, there's two steps that you need to do in order to enable WebDAV. The first is assign a domain account. So when the user logs in, instead of logging in as their user account, they're going to log in as their domain account. And second is to modify their web config within your Kentico CMS project. You're going to change it from authentication mode of Forms to authentication mode of Windows. Within my development environment, I currently have an installation of Kentico CMS using the defaults. I'm running it on my local machine, and I'm using the IIS local host. You'll notice a couple of things. First, if I open up my web.config file, you'll notice that I have my authentication mode set to Forms. This is the thing that's going to trigger how my application security is enabled. So for example, when I start this application up, you'll notice that I'm brought to the Please Log On screen. So I have the ability to log on, and in this example, I'm going to log on as Brad Summers. And I'll automatically inherit all of the characteristics that Brad Summers been given. So for example, if I were to go into my document screen and select my drop-down, you'll notice that I have an update and a copy option. Now that we've seen what Forms authentication looks like, let's go ahead and enable WebDAV. There are two steps involved in this. The first is we want to make sure that we create an account that actually maps to the domain name. As I said, I'm running on my local machine, which is a Windows 7 machine. I can find out what this account is that I need to create by taking a look at my Start menu, right-clicking on Computers, and selecting Properties. And you'll notice that my computer name is Tom-PC, and my computer name itself is just Tom. So the first thing that we want to do is we're going to go back into our application, and we're going to go into CMS Site Manager to create our account. I'm going to log in as administrator. I've already created my account earlier, but I want to show you some important things. I'm going to select Administration, Users, and then I'm going to look up Tom, and then I'll go ahead and edit him. So you'll notice that it's Tom-PC, which is the name of my local PC, and then another dash, which signifies the break into the name of my PC. So if my Active Directory domain name was Tom-PC, I would normally expect to put a slash in, but we actually need to put a dash in. I've also set myself up so that I'm an editor, as well as an external user, as well as I am a domain user as well. Now that I have my default account set up, I'm going to log out. I'm going to come into my authentication mode. I'm going to switch this from Forms to Windows. Save my web config, and then restart my application. At this point, I've now switched over to Windows authentication, and you'll notice a couple of things. First, that I wasn't prompted for a login screen. It brought me directly into the application. You'll also notice that my default navigation on the upper right-hand side has my name, Thomas Robbins. So it automatically picked up who I was based on my machine credentials, because I'm now running in Windows authenticated mode. The other thing is if I select Documents, and now I select my drop-down list, you'll notice that I have an edit. And the edit gives me direct access to WebDAV. So if I select my edit, I'm going to get the file download. And then it's going to go ahead and directly open the Microsoft PowerPoint presentation. And this is going to give me the ability to save off my document directly.